could not believe my recovery. I had rare, aggressive, invasive, triple-negative breast cancer. Shocked by doctors. Join me as I take you on my journey of being an outlier. I woke up to my husband in tears. You have cancer and it's bad. You need chemo and radiation like right away. When the doctor told me that I had aggressive, invasive, triple-negative breast cancer, I refused to accept defeat. I woke up to my husband in tears. We have been together for 30 years. I don't believe he's ever cried, and we've been through a lot of things. I was waking up from anesthesia from having a lumpectomy. No nurse, no doctor to be found. I'm still groggy as you would expect. I look over, he has tears in his eyes, and he says to me, you have cancer and it's bad. You need chemo and radiation like right away. And that just like stopped me right in my tracks, as you would expect. I was saying, well, wait, what? Because I thought that I was just doing something routine because I had a lump. They did a biopsy, they did an ultrasound, they did a mammogram. That biopsy was a needle biopsy. And just a few months before this, they told me that all that was benign and like everything was not an issue. I thought I was just doing something like just going ahead and taking it out. Well, I was shocked. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Like, I'm just so confused. I asked him, well, where's my doctor? And he says, she's not here. I'm like, I'm sorry. What? No, she's not here. I'm like, okay, well, you have to be mistaken. Nurse, I'm calling the nurse, comes in. Where's my doctor? Oh, she left. I'm like, what? You've got to be kidding me. Like, how could she leave? What are you talking about? Get her on the phone immediately or I'm about to go crazy in this place. And so got her on the phone. She was already back at her office. Left my husband to tell me about the diagnosis. She didn't even tell me herself. I had to call on the phone and ask questions. Like, what kind of bullcrap is that? It is so unacceptable. And there's no good way to start this journey, right? But that was definitely not a good way to start this journey. When I chose the oncologist, they outlined a standard of care, a comprehensive standard of care treatment. And I just knew that wasn't it. There was gonna be more to that. That just didn't feel like that was gonna be enough for me. I wanted to find some type of purpose in all of this stuff. And if I wasn't having a difficult journey enough, I decided to start a nonprofit to help other survivors. And that definitely is not going as planned, and it's going a lot slower than I had hoped. But more on that later. The oncologist recommended 51 weeks of immunotherapy, 24 weeks of chemotherapy, followed by surgery. I chose for a double mastectomy. And then finally, radiation. It was, I think, 50, they call it like, I don't know, spots or something. I had to go 25 times to get radiation. I decided, like I said, that wasn't enough for me. I decided to come up with my own protocol that merged with theirs. I spoke with the oncologist along the way and asked her permission, even though I didn't need it, in my opinion, but asked her permission, can I do this? Is this gonna hurt me? And the way that I would frame things, because I don't think that it's always a good idea to say, hey, Mr. Oncologist or Miss Oncologist, is this gonna help me? Because they don't know about vitamin drips. They don't know about acupuncture. They don't know about colonics. They don't necessarily know about detox. They don't know about juicing. They don't know about infrared therapy. They don't know about certain supplements because that's not their training. That's not their modality. I phrased it as, will this hurt me? And that's how I set up the journey is, this is my plan. Will this hurt me? Will this hurt me? Will this hurt me? And we were on the same page with everything except for two things. I didn't ask about the vitamin drips. That was a non-negotiable for me. And I did not, what was the other thing? I did not ask about colonics. No, I did ask about colonics, but she said no. And I still went ahead and did it because I believed that it was going to be crucial for me to fully detox. I'll talk about that in another video. I decided to take charge of my journey and marry things, the standard of care, with integrative medicine, with a complete holistic approach, and kind of throwing at it anything and everything that I knew about: supplements, juicing, vitamin drip, detox foot baths, detox clay baths, and a number of other things that obviously contributed in a positive way, because I was able to become cancer-free in 90 days, and everyone called me an outlier, as you'll see in other videos. I proceeded to do the things I had planned. I limited my alcohol consumption. I focused on mindset. I believed that I had to believe the healing was possible. I focused very heavily on nutrition and nutrients. I focused on rest, recovery. I focused on renewal and replenishing my body. I didn't just rely on my doctors alone. I took all these additional steps, and I found myself starting to write things down, because as I was searching for this information, I couldn't find it. And even all this time later, I still struggle in finding a channel like the one that I'm creating here for us as a community, where we're talking about more than one direction, not having to choose just the standard of care or just holistic or just integrative, but putting all these things together in a fully comprehensive plan. And I thought, well, if I'm not finding information or a channel on this from other survivors, I bet I'm not the only one looking for these things. I can't be the only one having this search. So I started to write things down and made sure to write down all that I was doing and how I was feeling and what was working and what the doctor said about this and what the doctor said about that, because I just knew something had to come out of this. There had to be a purpose. I believed that this was going to be bigger and greater than just me and just my journey. 90 short days after my diagnosis, I was labeled as no evidence of disease, which is what we all want. They could find no trace of cancer anywhere in my body. It was previously in the lymph. There was something in the right breast. There was something in the left breast. The lumpectomy did not have clear margins, and all that was gone. You can make an impact on your own journey. You've got this. You are part of this plan. You should apply knowledge that you're able to gain, engage with the doctors, engage with the plan. We have to advocate for ourselves, ladies. We have to. No one knows exactly what's right for us specifically, mentally, physically, emotionally. We all need different things. We all have to adapt different things. There's no two journeys that are alike. Exactly what worked for me is not going to be exactly what works for you, and so on. So here are a few practical tips that aided in my recovery. Number one, you have to believe it's possible. You have to believe that you can heal. You have to put yourself first. If you don't spend time or make time for your healing, your self-care, then you're going to end up having to make time for your illness. And if you're watching this, you or your loved one might be forced right now to make time for their illness. And that's not what any of us want for ourselves or for our loved ones. Be part of the protocol, part of the program. You know, if you meet the oncologist and you are just like, okay, this is my person and this is just amazing and wonderful, and you click with them because it's like a marriage, it's like a counselor. Like, you're gonna go through a lot together, and you have to be very vulnerable and willing to share what you're thinking and how you're feeling. And for you, if that's the first oncologist, that's amazing. But if you have any reservations and you don't feel fully comfortable and you feel like you're being just talked down to, and that your questions aren't being answered, and that you're not being taken seriously, or some survivors have said, oh, you know, they just look at me like I'm crazy, or like I have multiple heads or something like that, then maybe that's not your person. Make sure that you're standing up for yourself with that. For me, I interviewed 3 oncologists. Thank God I did, because the third one, she was my person. And 3.5 years later, I've never once doubted that choice. This journey was not easy. The journey continues. It doesn't stop with chemo, doesn't stop with radiation, it doesn't stop with no evidence of disease, it doesn't stop with the mastectomy. It's an ongoing survivorship. I prefer to say thriving. You want to be a thriver, not a survivor. Miracles are possible. You are one of them. Why not dare for your dreams and for the best possible outcome to be bigger than your fears. We're not meant to be on this journey alone, and we're gonna walk this together. I am here for you, your relentless sister in pink, and I want you and your loved ones to know that there is life beyond the diagnosis. Please like, comment, share if you feel called to do so. Until the next video, sending you so much love and light.